Hey everyone, this is Lee Lowell here from smartoptionseller.com. How's everyone doing? Today is Saturday, May 16th, 2020. I hope everyone had a good week. Still trying to get used to the whole stay-at-home lockdown thing, but I think things are starting to move along a little bit. A lot of states here in the U.S. are starting to open things up to a limited degree, so we'll see where it goes. Welcome to another edition of your Saturday Synopsis, where I go over what's happened during the last week of trading and what I can see moving forward. And I also want to give everyone some resources to help them out in their own trading. So let's take a look at the charts, what happened this week, what's going on, what do I expect or possibly might see going forward. I'm trying to give everyone some good educational content here to help out with their own trading. So what happened this week in the market? Well, I typically bring up the chart of the SPY, which is the barometer for the broad market, the S&P 500, which is a good gauge of how the overall market is doing. So here on my chart, I've got the SPY daily chart. Each one of these black lines here is 1 day's worth of trading. So you can see, I always go over this. We had the big washout in February and March. We got this nice V-shaped bounce, and the market's been trading higher. I've drawn this nice little uptrending channel here to show how the market is moving. And if you've read some of my stuff and I've been talking to people, you know that it's been very hard for me to believe in this massive rally that we've had, only because of the huge unemployment around the world, especially here in the U.S. We've got 35 million or so people unemployed in the last month and a half. And I have to believe, with that many people unemployed, spending's going to be cut back, businesses aren't going to be as profitable, and earnings are what drives the stock market, and that's what drives the stock charts as well. So if earnings are going down, I have to believe the stock market is going to go down too. But at the same time, you never want to argue with what the market is doing. The market doesn't care about your opinions, doesn't care about my opinions, doesn't care about what I think should happen. The market is going to do what it wants to do. And clearly, the market wants to keep going up. So I've drawn this uptrending channel. Just the last 2 days of trading, Thursday and Friday this week, we kind of dropped through the channel. So that could portend possibly a new leg of this move lower. Don't know yet. The bulls are fighting hard here. There's a nice bid under this market. So they try to get the market back into this channel. So we'll see what next week brings, but we may be getting some resistance here. It's coming out through the channel. I've talked about the 200-day moving average right here, this line, which is still hovering around $300 a share on the SPY. The 200-day moving average is watched by a lot of people, so it's a good gauge of where we may see some resistance if the market starts to go back up again. So $300 is a line in the sand for now. We've got this uptrending channel, and it's dropped through it late last week. Don't know if it'll start a new trend lower or if it'll go back up into the trend. So we'll see what happens during the next part of the week. One thing that's some part of the educational content I want to give you this week is I get a lot of people that ask me. I teach a lot of my students. They say, Lee, how do you find stocks to invest in, or how do you find stocks to trade on? What's your method for finding these stocks? And it's a great question because everyone needs to pick some stocks that they like or pick some stocks that they want to trade. So how do you actually find these stocks? What do I do? Well, it also depends on what kind of trader you are. Are you a long-term trader where you're just looking to buy stocks and hold them for 10, 20 years? Or are you a swing trader, day trader, where you're just looking for stocks that you can get in and out of and make some money on the side or in addition to your other current income? So there's different ways to play it. For me, I'm a longer-term trader. I'm looking to hold for 10, 20 years for my retirement accounts. 20 or so years ago when I was a lot younger and I can take on more risk or wanted to take on more risk, I'd be more of a day trader, trading in and out of things. When I was a trader on the floor of the NYMEX in New York, that was my job, to trade in and out of things. So my time frame has increased quite a bit over the years, from a short-term trader to a long-term trader. And the way that you look at the charts will affect what kind of trading you want to do. But if you're a long-term trader and you want to get on the bullish side, you always want to look for stocks that are uptrending, right? I pulled up stocks like this before. We got a Clorox, which I've also marked up the chart here as well. Clearly, you can see Clorox is in a nice uptrend. You've got the channel here. It's trading right at the top of the channel. So there is a possibility it could pull back a little, maybe to the 20-day moving average, which is the blue line here, and then it could continue up, or it could come all the way down and bounce. So you want to watch these channels here, uptrending channels. These are the kind of things you look for on the charts. But once again, people say, well, Lee, how do you find these stocks? What do you do? What's your process? Well, I always have a list of all my stocks right here on my charting platform. On the right-hand side here, I have all these stocks that I follow. Okay, I've got a lot of big name players: Microsoft, Intel, Nike, AMD, Amazon, Netflix. A lot of the big name brand companies, which are the ones you can follow as well. But how do I find these stocks? What do you do? Well, let me give you a couple resources that may help. One of the best resources you can get is from a site called dripinvesting.org, right up here at the top, dripinvesting.org. And these will give you some of the best dividend-paying stocks that are out there in the universe. As we know, stocks that have paid dividends for long periods of time are very stable stocks. They maintain their dividends, and they even increase their dividends each year. You want to look at stocks that have been increasing their dividends for a number of years. And something that's called the dividend aristocrats. Dividend aristocrats are stocks that have increased their dividends for at least 25 years in a row. Some even longer than that. So if you go to the dripinvesting.org and you click on the Dividend Champions Excel spreadsheet, you can open it up into an Excel spreadsheet, or you can open it up in a PDF. I've opened it up into an Excel spreadsheet, which is what I'm showing you right here on the screen. When you first download it, you'll come to the title page, the Dividend Champions list. They call them Dividend Champions. I think others in the industry, such as myself, we call them Dividend Aristocrats. Those are the ones that have raised their dividends for at least 25 years. You click on the tabs down here. So these are all the champions. There's a lot of companies in here. And if you look down the number of years column right here, it'll tell you how many years they've raised their dividend. So the Dividend Aristocrats have raised at least 25 years in a row. So if you want to get a start on building your watch list for stocks, you can go to the dripinvesting.org website, download the spreadsheet. Now, there's also something called the Dividend Kings. The Dividend Kings have raised their dividends for at least 50 years in a row. These are the top of the top companies out there in the universe. So you can scan through the list. You can pull out all the stocks that have raised their dividends for at least 50 years in a row, and I've already done that. I've got a little list here myself. In the dividend portfolio that I look at, some stocks that I invest in. These are a bunch of the Dividend Aristocrats right here. Some are 36 years, into the 40 years, and into the 50 years. And my Dividend Kings right here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stocks. These are stocks that have raised their dividends for at least 50 years, the Dividend Kings, okay? And there's also another way you can build a watch list, is another strategy called the Dogs of the Dow. I don't know if people have heard of the Dogs of the Dow. The Dogs of the Dow is another investing strategy. Very simple strategy. You can actually go to the website. Here's another resource, dogsofthedow.com right here, Dogs of the Dow. And this is where you pick every year. This trade only lasts for 1 year, from January 1st to December 31st. You pick the 10 highest dividend yielding stocks of the prior year, and you invest an equal amount of money into each. And then you wait it out for a year, and then you recalculate at the end of the next year. So you can look at the 2020 Dogs of the Dow. There's only 10 stocks, and they're comprised of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Okay, so here's the 10 Dogs of the Dow that started on January 1st, 2020, right here. These are the 10 highest yielding stocks in the Dow Industrials. And it tells you the current price and their dividend yield, and you invest an equal amount of money in each for 1 year, and then you recalculate it at the next year. So it's been a great strategy. It also shows you how they perform. I had that chart up somewhere. Give me 1 second to hang on. Okay, I had to find out where the chart was, the statistical chart. So back on the homepage of the Dogs of the Dow, if you want to know how the dogs have performed over the long term, you can click right here, dog years, and it'll bring up the returns compared to the S&P 500 and some of these other Vanguard Index 500. So the Dogs of the Dow is the green chart, the green bar chart. So over the years since 2000, you can see it's pretty much kept in pace with all the other strategies out there. And they give you some tables here that you can look at. So it's done very well. It's a very easy strategy, only 10 stocks involved, and you can roll it over each year. So look at the Dogs of the Dow, look at the drip investing, the dividend stocks. And if you want to scan for stocks yourself, you can also do that. You can use stock scanners. You can do a Google search online to find a scanner to search for stocks that you may be interested in. Here's I got some resources for you. A website called stockscreener.org. They've got a lot of these pre-screen screeners here, pre-selected screeners here based on technical indicators. You can change all these things on the left-hand side. Lots of ways to screen for stocks. You can also go to barchart.com. That will give you opportunities to screen for things. Something I have on my website right here is unusual stock options activity. So there's a number of ways to build your watch list. This is all about building your watch list so you can figure out what stocks that you may want to trade in the future. So it's all about building your watch list, watching the charts, see how the stock is trending, figure out what your time frame is for the type of trader you want to be, and then you go from there. So that's just one of the ways that I've built my watch list over time. I try to invest for the long term, try to find the uptrending stocks, and then I use option strategies to enhance my returns. Some of you might know I've been options trading for 30 years now, and that's what I do. At our website, smartoptionseller.com, which of course I always mention at the end of the video here. Please go to our website. Once again, our Put Selling Basics is a free download of how to sell put options on stocks. And if you want more information about what else we do here, you can always click on the Services tab. We've got a couple newsletters. We've got one-on-one coaching that we do. So there you go. If you found these videos useful, you get some good content out of it, please give me a thumbs up on the YouTube page. And don't forget to subscribe. Whenever I put out a new video, you will be alerted to it. So that's all for me this week. I try to keep these videos short, under 15 minutes if possible. Don't want to take up a lot of time of your day. That's all for me. Hope everyone has a good weekend and a good week going forward. This is Lee Lowell signing off.